Picture it, Los Angeles, 2024.
Well, welcome to Out on the Lanai, the only Golden Girls podcast you're ever going to need to listen to. I am HAlanScott / Sadie Painza.
I'm Kerri Doherty, and today we're doing another Golden Rewind where we go back and rewatch our favorite episodes of The Golden Girls and offer new insights since we first started breaking down these episodes way back in 2014. And get ready to head to Atlanta, you pack of woods, because we just rewatched Season 7, Episode 10, Room 7.
I love this episode. I randomly texted you about wanting to watch this episode. We have no intent for watching this episode. Not like we need an intent to watch any episode of Golden Girls, but we had no intent in watching this episode. It was literally just me wanting a slapstick LOL.
Can I read the text that you sent me?
Sure.
To everyone, it did make me laugh. I was going to go back and do like a season 1, season 2 for this week because you've been busy. So I was like, oh, I'll just pick one. And then I get a text that says, have we decided on an episode? I low-key was just thinking of the one where Sophia jumps out the window when visiting Blanche's old house. I don't know why. It just made me laugh.
Yeah. That's all I wanted. I wanted Rose's stupidity. I wanted to see. One thing I didn't put in that text that I meant to put in that text, but because I was too busy doing many other things, I forgot to add this. I also was oddly wanting a road trip episode, and there aren't really. I mean, there's vacation episodes and there's episodes where they travel, but like this one, I just like them in the car, and I like the 99 Beers on the Wall song. I mean, it's just a fun episode that like I remember fondly, but in the canon of Golden Girls episodes, it's not necessarily up there with great lines or like ones that everyone sort of quotes all the time. It's just like a random fun episode that made me happy.
It was fun. This one's definitely not in my regular rotation. And so I feel like I'm always surprised when there are certain jokes that I feel like I either hear and I'm like, I don't know what episode that's from. And I'm like, oh, that's from this episode. It's because I never watch it. So
I also subconsciously think I chose this episode without intending to choose this episode. But I've been complaining all day about how I have like a little bit of a chest thing happening. Like I have like a chest pain, but not like for me, I always think I'm dying. Like I always think like the next, like, oh, well, this thing's happening, then I'm dead. Like I'm definitely dying. And then I'll create symptoms that happen around that one pain that exists. And
sure.
then somehow I have cancer again or something. Like,
oh, no.
It's the domino effect. I know, it just happens.
Sure.
And I haven't been sleeping very well lately. And there's a lot of like factors involved in sort of the reasons why I might have a pain somewhere in my body. And so I think subconsciously I had like oh my God, I'm near death. I need to watch the episode where Sophia literally dies.
Yeah. And ends up in a really blown out, foggy place.
Seemed beautiful. The lighting was great. I'd want to take pictures there.
Yeah, I do want to talk about our overall thoughts about the episode before we kind of dive into it. But before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, which I'm going to do this every week, y'all. The GGVIP Club over on Patreon. It is the happening place to be. It's where all the kids are hanging out. This week, we have another bonus Rusty Anchor Happy Hour episode, which, of course, we put out every single week, where this week, HAlanScott / Sadie Pines, I discovered another sort of wild Golden Girls fact that I don't know if we've ever talked about this on the podcast before. And I think it's going to blow your mind a little bit. I don't know if we've talked about it before. I don't think we have, but I discovered something when I was looking up guests that were going to do some outreach to see if they could maybe do the podcast. I discovered a thing, and I'm going to tell it to you on the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. Why don't you tell everybody what else we're talking about tonight?
Oh yeah, we're also talking
Hour.
about the it's a new series coming. I should have looked it up. I have it up on my thing, but it's too hidden for me to pull up the name. But the new Nathan Lane sort of Golden Girls inspired
Mid-Century Modern.
Mid-Century Modern, thank you. It's like Golden Girls inspired show from the creator of Will and Grace. And I just wanted to talk about reboots in general and the talk about reboots and like the idea around reboots and what we think about that within the Golden Girls sphere, because I know we both have very strong opinions on it. So I wanted to have a chat about that. But also because, like Kerri said, she brings it up every episode for you to go to the GGVIP Club. Since we do this at the end of the episode, I want to do it at the beginning of the episode today. I want to remind you all that it helps if you've been listening for a very long time, and we love you for it because we are very quickly approaching our 10-year anniversary. We just looked up the date, and both of us were kind of
a month from now is our 10-year anniversary.
Literally, like wait, a month after this episode airs. So the Wednesday, the 28th, a month after this episode airs, it will be exactly 10 years since we uploaded our very first episode of Out on the Lanai, which is mind-blowing.
I can't believe it's been a decade.
Mind-blowing.
A decade.
And so because it's been a decade, and we know many of you have been with us from the beginning, which is wild for me to even think about, and we're so grateful for every single person, new and old, listening. It does help us a lot if you go leave a little rating and review. You share the podcast with your friends. You tell them about the podcast. You tell them to go leave a rating and a review of the podcast. It really, really does help us, especially in the sphere of podcast now, because we started in the podcast game when it was not as saturated as it is now.
No.
And so we were definitely babies in the world of podcasts, but we were early adopters, if you will.
We were early adopters of the rewatch. I only knew of one other podcast that did a rewatch. Yeah. It was April Richardson's Saved by the Bell rewatch podcast. That was the only other one that I was aware of at that time.
And there was a Friends one as well, but they weren't necessarily doing I think they started even after us, right?
I think they started after us. Yeah.
They started after us. So yeah, we definitely were early in even the rewatch thing. Now there's a ton of Golden Girls podcasts you can go to enjoy, and we support all of them. But since we were early, it would be very helpful if you've never left us a rating and review to go do that right now. Thank you. That's all.
Yes. And you can check out the GGVIP Club over at patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast. Okay.
Yes.
I have to say, overall, with this episode, Room 7, I know I always say that in later seasons, the storylines obviously become a little bit more silly. And, parts of this episode are certainly silly. But what I really liked about
very slapstick silly.
Oh, incredibly slapstick silly. But what I did like about this episode was that it's really an exploration into Sophia and Blanche's relationship with people on the other side. With being open to that. And it's like, well, what happens to us after we die? And how do we still stay connected to people on the other side if the other side exists? And I was like, whoa, this is an episode of a sitcom, but this is really, this is deep.
Well, it's deep, but it's also deep for a cast and a subject matter that these women would deal with that. They would deal with this conversation. They would have this kind of conversation in their lives. And it's very much a real topic that I think a lot of more people should be talking about because it would be very helpful. It's another thing that stood out to me, not stood out to me this episode, but what I always love, because like you and I, we watch the Golden Girls so much that like, we're always laughing, of course. Like we're all, even though we've laughed at the same joke countless of times over and over again, whenever I'm watching it and Michael's in the room and he has a gut laugh to something, it makes me happy as a Golden Girls fan, because it's like, you love showing off the thing that you love to other people, anybody really. And then if they get it and they think it's funny, like even guests we've had on the podcast that maybe weren't as big of a fans of Golden Girls and they discover something funny or something that they liked, it's exciting for us because like we're those fans that we want those other people to be like, yeah, this is really funny. You see, we're not crazy.
Oh, no. Yeah, I love it. No, I love it when Stan does the same thing. And I think even we had a really fun live watch along this past weekend. We watched Stan's return.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all talking about like watching the Golden Girls with family members and stuff. And I think it was our GGVIP member, Ryan. I believe
Love
it was you,
Ryan.
Ryan, who said that you watch it with your high schooler and like your high school son.
Oh,
who
I
just
love
high school.
that.
I'm like, I love that. I love that and you know what? Little Oreo is going to grow up on the Golden Girls. I'm so excited to.
What are you going to do if little Oreo doesn't like the Golden Girls? Like, what are you going to do?
I will respect her decision. I respect that she's a different person than me, but I have a feeling she's going to like it because she's really funny and she has really funny comedic timing and she's real silly. I think I told you, I may have talked about on the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour, how she got back from the beach with Stan. And I was like, hi, honey, did you have fun? And she said, I have sand in my butthole. I think I
So
even sent you the
funny.
video of her saying
Yeah, you
that
did. You did.
I
You
have
did. And I
sand
loved
in
it.
my butthole. And I was
I
like,
mean,
okay, well,
listen,
let's go take a tubby and get
let's
it out of there.
let's take a tubby.
I do have
That's my
one
tubby
other thing
song.
I want to say quickly. Well, maybe we should
What?
maybe we should take a
No.
quick break. You tell me. I have another thought about what this episode could have been but didn't really lean into.
Oh, say it
Should I
now.
say
I
it
would say it
now?
now. Yeah, say it
I
now.
didn't know if we should tease it. So, with Blanche's Grammy's plantation being torn down, it feels
Yeah.
like this would have been a great opportunity to do a storyline like they did on the Golden Palace, where
Oh,
Blanche booked the
yes.
Daughters of the Confederacy at the hotel for an event and they draped the Confederate flag. And Roland confronted Blanche about how that flag means something very different to him. Like
Mm-hmm.
it could have been interesting if there was a guest star who had different memories associated with this house,
Mm-hmm.
who was
You
glad that
know,
it was being torn down. That was just another direction they could have
I
gone
hear
in.
you. I hear you on that, and I would definitely have enjoyed to see that. I do think though, and obviously there were definitely people having that conversation back in 1990 when this episode, or 1991 or two. When did this episode come out? 92?
I think,
It
yeah, I
was the
think
final season,
92
so
probably, yeah.
yeah. And there definitely were people having that conversation in 1992. Unfortunately, it was not the widespread conversation that it eventually became. I mean, even celebrities like Blake Lively were getting married on plantations as of 10 years ago or something. So, like, that conversation is definitely a part of our modern
Well, but they did it on the
reevaluation.
Golden Palace, a
They did
year
it on the Golden
later.
Palace with the Confederate flag, and that's a
Yeah.
different conversation.
Yeah.
That has always been a very important conversation that a lot of people were not paying attention to. But that conversation was very much alive and well not well, but it was alive in
Mm-hmm.
1992. The plantation conversation was, but not to the degree
Mm-hmm.
that the Confederate flag was, and the Confederate statues and all of those things that, like, it felt different than it's strange, and it shouldn't have felt different, but it did in a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ways. And I think that conversation got started years later as we saw these, like, weddings on Instagram at plantations. Like, social media, I think, really pushed that conversation in a
Mm-hmm.
direction that it needed to go down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Really interesting, though.
that's
It would
all
have
I
been
wanted to
interesting.
say about, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm excited to dive into it because
Me
it really was a
too.
fun episode.
Oh, well, I'm all glossed up and ready to go. I just put on my YSL gloss.
You
That's
look
what that
great.
was. That's what I was pulling up. Thank you. Okay, should we get ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, bye.
I mean, this episode it starts with such a great joke where Blanche comes in and she's like so sad that the most important building to Blanche Devereaux is being torn down, and Dorothy's like, Mattress World.
Oh my God, Dorothy in this episode is able to, because like we said in the opening, this episode is a very slapstick in a lot of areas, but it's also very deep in a lot of areas. And B. Arthur, she goes back and forth. She's doing both. She's doing the slapstick and she's doing the depth. Like, she is hitting both notes.
Dorothy was also kind of an asshole in this episode. Like, I understand why Dorothy is really like having a hard time accepting Sophia's story and in turn sort of what's going on with Blanche. But like she's treating Blanche's grief like not my problem. Sorry, not my problem. Like at one point when Blanche
Yeah.
handcuffs herself to the radiator, she's like, "Well, Blanche is being a baby, so I guess we'll just have to leave and like let her get blowed up." But like it's like Dorothy, just go talk to your friend. Stop, just like let her
Yeah.
grieve for a second.
However, in Dorothy's like favor, playing devil's advocate here, even though I do agree with you, we all have that friend, and I have a feeling I am this friend for most of my friends, but we all have that friend who tends to be maybe a wee bit dramatic when it comes to certain things. Like I said at the top, I have a pain, I should go to the emergency room and I'm dying. Like, and I shouldn't. Like, I don't need to, because I'm that dramatic friend who will do the dramatic thing or have the dramatic. I am Nathan Lane from The Birdcage. And so we all need that Dorothy in our lives to be like, you're being ridiculous. Please calm down and have a snack.
You seem grumpy. You don't seem like yourself. Have a Snickers. I don't know. I feel like everybody just kind of needs a rose who's like, come here, I'm gonna envelop you in a nice big
Oh, of
hug.
course, everyone needs all of those ladies. They all make up the things that we need. But I do have a feeling that I'm probably a bit like Blanche in this episode, where
Yeah.
I would do something dramatic and crazy, and then I would need a friend, or most likely in my life, Michael, to be like, "You're being ridiculous. Stop it." And then I'd be like, "Okay, let's go to White Castle."
White Castle makes everything better.
Yeah.
So Blanche discovers that her Grammy Hollingsworth plantation is being torn down. Her happiest
Yeah.
memories here as a child. It's like they're tearing down a part of Blanche too. She doesn't know what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
then Sophia has a little bit of a health scare, which kind of
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere because
Why did no one call 911?
I was actually surprised at how like so Rose yells from the other room. She just goes like, "Help, Sophia's passed out." And Dorothy and Blanche run in and they just like maintain a safe distance of like
Yeah.
2-3 feet from them. And Rose is giving Sophia like the gentlest Heimlich maneuver I've ever seen. Like it
Well,
looks like
yeah.
she's just trying to pick her up and she's a little too heavy. And then
Yeah.
the other women are just like standing there, not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like you said, not calling 911. And
Yeah.
at one point, Rose is like, "This isn't working." And Dorothy's like,
Yeah.
"Come on, Rose." And Rose is like, "I'm trying." And she's like, "Try harder." And it's like, Dorothy, you do so, like you two are doing
Call
nothing.
911. Oh my
Somebody
God.
call
Yeah.
911.
Yeah.
But it
No,
was
it's true.
interesting. It was just it like I was like, "Oh shit, that's right. That's what happens in this episode." Because normally when the women have some kind of like medical emergency, there's something before it. Like when
Yeah.
Sophia has like that like esophageal spasm. She's like eating a lot and she's like coughing. I think even when
Yeah.
Rose faints at the high school
Uh-huh.
reunion, she's like, there's something before it. But this
Yeah.
was just like, oh, they haven't even been in the episode yet. The episode, like, oh, we meet Sophia in this
And
episode.
we literally, within 3 minutes of this episode, or not three, but like 5 minutes, we see Sophia in heaven.
Yeah, yeah. Sophia has flatlined in the first. Wow, like wow, way to just wake the audience up.
Beep. Yeah. Can you imagine like being in the kitchen and gathering your snacks and being like, "I'll be right there," because you can't pause it in 1992.
Yeah,
You're like, "Yeah, I'll be right there," and then you come out with
nobody's
your
gonna like.
popcorn,
Yeah, that's not gonna. Nothing huge is gonna happen. It's gonna be very light for the first few minutes.
and then all of a sudden you have the popcorn in your hand, and you're like, "Wait, Sophia died?" And then you drop the popcorn, and it's like the episode becomes a very special episode.
Yeah. Your popcorn falls in slow motion and you're like, no.
Yes. Not even no. You just stand there stoically.
What was
That's me.
was there ever like a death on a TV show that rocked your world?
Yes. No, well, yes. Oh, certainly. I mean, Succession, of course. But spoilers. But there's this show on Netflix called The Bodyguard. And I don't remember if the character dies or not. It's a British show, but it's very good. I am like an Anglophile. I do love. Is that someone who likes British things? I think so. But like, I'm one of those people that likes British things. And this show, there's this like politician who's being like, targeted or whatever. And you're only midway through the season, so you don't think anything big's going to happen. You're just sort of like, oh, it's a thriller and things are going to happen, whatever. And then she's in her car, and then all of a sudden, gunfire erupts on her car, and she's just like, it's literally the most traumatic 10 minutes of television I think I've ever, because it's ongoing. It's not like the TV gunfire where it's sort of like bang 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 and then they dash off and it all happens really quickly. No, they make you feel like you are literally in the middle of a massive amount of gunfire and someone's wanting to get this woman. I think she might have died, and the character obviously, and it was so traumatic. It was
Yeah.
so traumatic, but a riveting series. I highly recommend it, called The Bodyguard.
Okay. Well, now
Not
people know what to
not
look
Whitney
out
Houston,
for.
but I will always love her.
Um, the only ones I could think of off the top of my head, I feel like in the later seasons of Lost, I was like shocked when like the old school
I
cast
never
members
watched
died.
Lost. Never watched it.
All right, we'll see. I'm not going to tell you exactly who in case you change your mind someday and you decide
You
to
can
binge
tell
it.
me. That's the thing. People always say like, "Oh, do you want me to ruin it for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, ruin it for me. I'm still gonna like it. Like, I'm still gonna watch, and you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like, I don't care.
All right.
But like, I'm not one of those spoilers people. Like, I don't mind someone spoiling something for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to
So how
know.
does the Golden Girls end? No.
Blanche marries Harry. That's how it ends. Could you
Oh,
imagine if Harry
Marry
came back?
Harry. I
What if
would
the Golden Girls
die.
ended in such a dovetail? Like how like Seinfeldian would that have been if the
Wait,
Golden
what
Girls
if?
ended with Harry coming back and wooing Blanche and he's like, I'm out of prison for all my like
What?
weird polygamy bullshit and now I'm gonna marry
What
you.
if? What if the Golden Girls had a similar situation that happened with the Mary Tyler Moore Show? In that the Mary Tyler Moore Show, a sitcom from the 1970s, then obviously you all know this, and then it ends. And then what happens? The spinoff, even though there were lots of spinoffs, one of the spinoffs was a drama series starring Ed Asner, reprising his role as Lou Grant Lou Grant. And it was like a drama series. Like it went from sitcom to drama. Like
Mm-hmm.
what if the Golden Girls did that? What if it was about B. Arthur in the mean streets of Miami as a gritty teacher? It was Dangerous Minds before Dangerous Minds. And she's all out there flipping that chair around in a gangster's paradise.
Oh, that would have been fun.
Yeah.
I could see that show. Yeah.
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 It could have been a
a
mix
David
up of
Simon
21
show.
Jump Street with like Homicide Life on the Street, but all in the Golden Girls universe. I would watch it.
Great. Okay. Well, wow, that was quite the tangent.
I was sorry.
No, that was great. Let's get to Sophia in heaven. I love that she still had her wicker purse in heaven, even though in heaven you probably
always, you need it.
Well, yeah, I like that she has it. I mean, we know that she won't need her blood pressure medication, but I like that because she obviously wasn't holding her purse when she died. But I love that, at this point in the series, it's such a big part of who she is. It just goes with her everywhere, including heaven. I thought that was a really sweet.
I mean, if I went to heaven, I would want my bag someday on Rusty Anchor or something. I want to do a what's in my bag just so that I can embarrassingly show all of the crazy things that are actually in my bag, because it is actually embarrassing the amount of stuff that I carry around. And I mean, I feel like I'm Sophia in that way. I would want my bag if I go to heaven.
Oh,
like,
let's definitely do a what's in my bag.
Yeah. Okay,
We'll do that very soon.
Yeah.
I like the guy who checks Sophia into heaven.
Same.
He's really excited because he's about to check in a televangelist. And he's like, we've never had one of those before.
Yeah. So fun. So fun.
That moment feels like he's kind of revealing something he's not supposed to, like attorney-client privilege or something. Or like a doctor talking about somebody's medical diagnosis.
Sometimes it's so good you have to. You know what I mean?
Gossip. He had to
God.
gossip in that moment.
Speaking of, I have some gossip of an interview I just did.
You do? You want to talk about it on Rusty Anchor Happy Hour?
Yeah, I can't say it on the air. I can't even say it on Rusty Anchor, actually. But you guys will know. You'll know. But I have it for you. It's for you.
Okay. Well.
Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
Well, I'm dying to know. So then the best part of Sophia being in this weird, like blown out, foggy heaven is when she sees Sal.
It is all you want I mean, I don't know if I even believe in a heaven, but like all you want is the idea. Sometimes I look at a picture of Frasier over there and I'm just like, maybe one day. Like it's like that's something that I think about in moments like that, you know?
Yeah. I like to imagine that heaven is whatever you want it to be, if it exists. So you get to see all of those who have crossed over that you want to see, not the people that you want to be like, oh God, am I stuck in eternity in a conversation with this person? Like that would be, I guess then you're in hell. But you get to see whoever you want to see. And then you get to do whatever you want to do. So I like I
want my heaven to be a Barnes and Noble in the 1990s.
Oh, that's nice. Is it, you want the book selection too of the 1990s?
Well, I just love the idea of just being around like all of the books in 1990. You know what I mean? And like in the 90s, like Barnes and Noble in the early aughts was like it hit, it hit. You know, like Borders, like a Borders would be
Borders,
fun.
yeah. Oh, I miss Borders. Yeah. I would like for heaven to be that I can basically go be like a fly on the wall for any moment in time in history at any place, because I would want to solve so many mysteries and see so many things played out. And I would just want to be able to like fly around like
So you want
like
literally
Falcor.
Highway to Heaven. You want the premise of essentially Highway to Heaven.
I've never seen that motion picture, but I want to
It's
be
not
able
a motion
to.
picture. It's a television show.
I've never seen it. I want to fly around like Falcor, Neverending Story, and I want to be able to fly anywhere I want to go, and I want to be able to see inside people's homes because I'm always so curious to know what the inside of people's homes look like.
Wait, you don't know the show Highway to Heaven?
No.
Starring Michael Landon from Little House on the Prairie?
No.
Oh my God, Highway to Heaven. It was a probationary angel sent back to Earth, teams up with a cop to help people, and he basically like is able to like whatever. And also that show with Scott Bakula, but the other guy, the other actor, where he was like an angel.
Scott
and he
Baio?
No, not Scott Baio. Maybe it was Scott Bakula. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna look that up. Everyone listening who knows this show is killing me.
They're
right
dying.
Now.
All right.
Quantum Leap. Quantum Leap was kind of like that, but not an angel.
That's Scott Bakula.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there you go. I mean, it's not quite angel-like, but it's
No,
similar.
he wasn't
premise.
an angel.
He could go around to different places.
What about the
kinda
show
angel-esque.
Angel? Let's just, all right.
Well, okay.
Do you remember the
We've
song
spiraled.
Angel of Mine by Brandy? We need to
We
stop.
have
Okay.
spiraled.
People hate us. They're like, this
Let's
is a
play
Golden
the
Girls
clip.
podcast.
Let's play the clip.
Let's play the clip. Let's
Yes,
play the clip.
okay.
Let's play the clip.
How do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel great. Hey, this is wonderful. My bunions don't hurt, my arthritis is gone, and my teeth are teeth.
Here, all the parts work.
Oh, I've missed you.
And I missed you. I wish you knew how much.
I'm not letting go. I'm never letting go.
She had to let go.
Never let go, Jack. She did have to let go. I think the casting of Sid Melton on the show as Sal is so perfect. The two of them are so great together, are so sweet together.
Even their height different. Like they're not. They're similar in height, and it's like it's a good thing to see.
Yeah, they're a really good pairing. I think this is also the only time in the series that we ever see present day Sophia, like early 1990s Sophia, on screen with young Salvador, because I think every other time she's on screen with him, she's playing younger Sophia.
Yeah. Oh, that is interesting. He is such a good actor. I love him.
Yeah, and I love when he does like the "you dirty rat." It's just so sweet. But of course, Sophia ends up getting pulled back down to Earth because Rose saves her, who's pissed, or Sophia is pissed because she was happy to be with Sal, and she's like, "Thanks for nothing, you nitwit," which is like,
it's so cute.
Yeah. She saves her by continuing to give her the weakest Heimlich maneuver ever. I also noticed, like, when Sophia is saved, the women are just like, well, they just kind of sit down on the couch.
I know, and Blanche is like, well, back to my problem.
Yeah, which is funny and is like very in line with Blanche's character. But I wanted Dorothy and even Rose, like, to be a little like, this should feel a little bit more urgent. She has passed out. She's not conscious. And
someone potentially just died in your home.
Yeah, you
and
think
that was brought back to life.
I feel like
and
they still should have called 911 or bring her to the hospital, bring her to an urgent care. At the least, like call her primary care physician.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So she saves her. And now that Sophie has had a near-death experience, she kind of does what Rose did when she almost died, which is embrace life and go balls to the wall. And literally there's a great moment. So it's like the next day, and this is right after Dorothy finds out that Sophia took her car to the dog tracks in Lauderdale.
Dorothy is wearing the best artist smock I've ever. It's not an artist smock, but it should be, and it's literally the most shapeless outfit I think B. Arthur has ever worn on this series.
And she looks fabulous in it.
She looks fabulous. Should we play the clip?
Let's play the clip.
Ma, you were driving? What is wrong with you? What, do you have some sort of a death wish?
No, I have a life wish. I've seen the white light. Now that I know there's a place for me on the other side, I'm not gonna live in fear anymore. Pussycat, what's that on your blouse? See, I laugh in the face of death.
Ma, stop it. I don't want to hear about this dream that is making you act reckless. The doctor says it was a lack of oxygen that made you hallucinate.
All right. I won't tell you what your father said. I won't say another word. The light! The light! I'm coming to you, Sally!
Ma, enough with the white light. You are making me crazy.
Do you know what I mean?
Did yours go out recently?
Yeah, a while back, and we had to get a special light for it. You know what I mean? Like like a whatever, because we didn't want to deal with our landlord and everything. And so for a few weeks there, we didn't have a light in our refrigerator, and it is like it's actually very necessary, like to see in there. You know?
It is something we all take for granted. Everyone,
Yeah.
I want you to go over to your refrigerator right now. I want you to open it. I want you to look at that light, and I want you to say thank you.
When
Thank
you
you,
said
light.
open it, all I heard was Sally Field talking to her refrigerator, being like, "Open,
Open your eyes, Shelby.
open your eyes,
Open your eyes.
open your
eyes, Shelby. Open your eyes." I can't watch that movie anymore now. I can't watch it. I'm a mom. I can't watch it. Well, it was nice while it lasted. I just can't watch that part. Like, as soon as Julia Roberts cuts her hair, I'm like, well, now I got to turn it off.
And has the worst wig in Hollywood history.
I know. Well, then she reprised that wig in Hook.
Yes. So
I feel like it was the same
so
one.
good.
Oh, so good,
Yeah.
so bad. But it's like, that's what my wig would look like. It would look so wiggy because I have so much
she
hair.
also reprised, she had a wig in Notting Hill when she was the space woman or whatever in Notting Hill. And then she did it again, I think, in Valentine's Day.
She's
like
Julia
20
Roberts.
years
Is
later.
every movie set she shows up, she's like, "Can I wear this?" And they either say yes or no. Like,
It's
she's
Julia. You say yes. You say yes.
Aaron Brockovich, they were like, "No, I'm so sorry." Okay, so then Blanche comes in. She says she's going to go to Atlanta to see the plantation before they tear it down tomorrow. I also noticed in this scene, Rue McClanahan was wearing her blue contacts.
Yep. I wonder if she like had different contacts, like green, blue. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder.
I don't know, but we all thought that maybe she only wore them in like season 1, but here she
Nope,
was
she had 'em.
wearing her
She
blue
had 'em.
contacts.
She looks good this
She
season,
looks
too.
good. She looks really good. So then we get to Grammy's house, and I couldn't
Well,
tell.
let's on Grammy's house.
Yeah.
Let's take a little break, and we'll come back
Okay.
with more at Grammy's house.
And we are back, and we're at Grammy's house. And I couldn't tell if this was the set that they used for the Maltese Falcon Club, for the murder mystery. I was trying to
They
figure
definitely.
out.
I feel like they have used this set before because it seems like a standard set, especially in the later years.
They've got that staircase. They've got like a big picture window to the left. I don't know. It looked
Yeah.
kind of familiar. And so Blanche is there. She's remembering all the memories that she had growing up in her house. She's very emotional. She keeps sort of like running into Rose's arms. And I like
Yeah.
that Rose has kind of been the emotional support system for these women lately. Like when
Yeah.
Phil died, she was there for Sophia, with her grief
Mhm.
counseling background. And I feel like if I was
Well,
feeling
Rose is the support system. I mean,
Yeah.
Dorothy brought her to New York with her for the chronic fatigue. Like,
Yes.
Rose is that support anchor. Like, they might make fun of her for being dumb or naive or whatever, but like, sometimes all you need is that pure, unconditional hug, love moment, and Rose has it.
I feel like if I were really bummed, I would run right to Rose, knowing that she wasn't going to judge me and she was going to give me like an ice cream root beer float kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and there would be sardines at the bottom of it.
of course, and that would be the surprise at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I love, I think my favorite thing about basically the rest of this episode, which takes place in Blanche's Grammy's house,
For the most part, yeah.
is the performance of Roy Brocksmith, who plays the guy
This
that's going to get to
man-
blow up the house because it's his birthday.
This man was about ready to fly right out of there, and I loved it. I wanted him every time I hear him speak, I'm like, I want him to be a gay pimp in something. I want him to be like evil. Like, he seems like he would play evil really well.
Mm-hmm. I want to play
It's my birthday.
Let's play that moment. It made me laugh so hard.
Can I help you folks?
Well, excuse me, you don't really know me. My name is Blanche Devereaux. My family used to live here, and I would very much like to see my old bedroom. It's room 7. Oh, please, we came all the way from Miami.
Okay, but you better be quick about it. We're gonna blow this place up in 2 hours. I get to push the plunger because it's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
It's my birthday.
Because it's my birthday. Oh God. And I feel like if it's Rose's birthday, she gets the rose. If it's Dorothy's birthday, she gets to wear a silly hat and eat a hot dog. And if it's his birthday, he gets to push the big plunger.
Which, I mean, that man could not have been more happy and you know what? I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
He was so childlike because it's my birthday. Like there's so much Arrested Development happening there. I really, really
Yeah.
like it.
I like him a lot. I want to say we needed more of him in the episode, but I don't think we did. I think we got just enough.
We got
of him.
just enough where every time we saw
Yeah.
him, he was like more and more excited. He's like, I got my hard hat
Yeah.
on. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. So then Blanche shows them her bedroom where she would sleep, and she goes out onto her Romeo and Juliet balcony where the boys would gather below and sing, I see London, I see France, I see Blanche's underpants.
And you know she wasn't wearing any.
I know. I love that. What does she say? There's like an episode where she's getting ready to leave the house, and Dorothy's like, Blanche, aren't you forgetting something? She goes, oh, no, I never wear underwear.
Uncomfortable.
I don't know. I like it.
You don't wear underwear.
No. Oh, no, I do. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought you meant underwear was uncomfortable. You mean not wearing underwear is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would not. I can't not wear underwear. I mean,
I
A,
can't
I
not
don't
wear
like doing
underwear.
laundry that much, and B, I'm not saying I have, massive giblets down there or anything. We all know I don't, but they get in the way because of the force of my thighs, and if you don't have underwear on to sort of protect the giblets from getting within the force of the thighs, it can just be, it's a war.
I mean, and not only that, but whatever you're wearing, if you're wearing jeans, if you're wearing, you know what I mean? Like whatever you're wearing, is that material going to be any more comfortable than the soft cotton of a pair of underwear? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The fabric of our lives.
Oh yeah. So Rose again. In all of this episode, Rose is being so supportive. Dorothy is trying to basically
Get Blanche to snap out of
get
it.
Blanche to snap out of it, like she did with Martin Mull when he was an agoraphobic. She's like, Blanche,
Rest
honey,
in peace. Rest in peace.
rest
He
in
just
peace,
recently
rest in
passed.
peace. She's like, we've been here for over an hour. We've seen every room in this house, including the 6 where you lost your virginity. Like, let's go, is what Dorothy is saying. But Blanche doesn't want to go, and she has a really good reason why, which leads me to one of my favorite Rose lines in this episode.
Yes.
Dorothy, I know, but there's something I haven't told you about this room, something I haven't said because I was afraid you'd think I was weird. My Grammy, she's in this room.
Hey, man, cool.
Oh, Blanche, come on, you only think she's here. You and Grammy spent a lot of time here, and the memories are so alive. Of course, you can almost feel her here, right, Rose?
Well, she's not under the bed.
So the line that Michael LOL'd at was Sophia going, hey man, cool.
It's a funny
Is that your
line.
favorite line? Is that your favorite line or is Rose's line? Your
Well,
favorite?
what I like about Rose's line is that it appears that Rose was legitimately looking for the corpse of Blanche's grandmother under the bed just now, and she was doing it very nonchalantly.
Like it's the home of Psycho or something,
Exactly.
Yeah.
That mommy, Grammy's just going to be under the bed. She's like, well, she's not under here. I mean, we do know that Rose has killed men in bed, so she has seen dead people
Maybe
and
she's
around
contemplated.
beds.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe she is a little numb to it at this point.
I mean, I do love that line. So I mean, Sophia in this episode is Sophia and Blanche, of course, but Sophia is a standout for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the fact that we get. I know we're getting to it, but the fact that we get a Sophia dummy dropping from a rooftop is just some might say something jumped the shark. Not me. I say perfection.
Yeah, I say that the shark jumped it. I also was curious to ask you, the way that Blanche sort of is like, I feel my Grammy around me. Have you ever felt like the ghostly presence of someone?
You know, it's so funny. So I have I do believe. I do believe.
I do vow too.
But I think because I don't care enough, like I'm not afraid of a ghost situation, that they don't bother me. Like, and I'm it's like, it's sort of like I want to be the cool kid, and so I'm trying so hard to be the cool kid that the cool kids don't want to be friends with me. It's like that with ghosts, in that I believe in them so much, and I'm like, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, come talk to me, and they don't want to talk to me because I'm like, I'm so eager. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I just think they just like avoid me. But yeah, no, I do. But so I've never felt the spirit of a ghost or anything, but I really want to. What about you?
I don't know that I want to. I always like when people close to me pass away. Like I remember like a friend of mine died in high school and I would like just talk out loud and I'd be like, hey man, if you want to come visit me, like come in my dreams. Please don't ever like creep up on me. Please don't ever just like appear in front of me. Please don't ever like make like the wind cold around me. Like I don't want any of that shit. Come to me in my dreams. You can come to me in other ways. And I do feel like I don't feel like I've ever had a ghostly presence around me. But again, I request that of everyone. I'm making it clear right now.
Pointing to the sky. Please, please.
Please, everybody, that I love you all dearly. But I do know that my good friend Matt, who passed away in high school, there have been moments both when I was in high school and sort of like living back home, and since I've gone back to like visit, where certain things will happen, like I'll literally drive by the cemetery where he's at, or I'll go to the cemetery and I'll go to like be like, hey, what's up, cool dude, to your like headstone. And then I go to leave and a song will come on that I haven't heard in forever. That's a song that, you know what I mean? So it's stuff like that I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
really
maybe you're here in those ways. Like the way people are like, oh, I see a certain butterfly and that's you know what I mean? And that's this person to me.
Yeah,
I see a bird.
I don't know if I necessarily buy into the like some of those things. I mean, I think they're sweet. I think they help people a lot. But for me, it's like always like the intense emotions. You know what I mean? Like for example, like if there are times where like I'll look at the picture of Frasier, like his box with his ashes, and I'll get like a sudden wave of emotion, and then I'll have to look over somewhere else. I'll have a moment, and then I come back and I'm back in it. And it's just sort of like, to me, that's when it's sort of like, that's when the spirit takes you, is when that sudden burst of emotion hits, and then you're able to move on, and you just let it hit and then move on. And so, yeah, that's my presence. But then again, I want Frasier, haunt me, please.
Frasier, startle the shit out of HAlan the way that you used to startle the shit out of me.
Please, I'm dying. He could never startle me, but I'm dying for it. Not dying. I have that heart thing, remember?
I know, I remember. Oh, gosh. And then Blanche decides that she doesn't want her Grammy's house blown up, so she handcuffs herself to the radiator. I was so surprised that there was no joke about how many pairs of handcuffs she already has.
I know. I mean, it is sort of, again, it's the what's in your bag. Like, it's one of those things that it's like, what are you embarrassed? I mean, okay, I can't wait to do this. What's in my bag?
Well, I'm like, I really don't have a bag. I have like a fanny pack and I like take a couple things in and out of it. I know you're giving me a look. When I go to the playground with little Oreo, I need to be able to get to things very easily and I need to be hands-free.
Well, maybe on this episode of Rest Anchor, we'll do a what's in my bag, and then we can do a what's in your bag. We'll split it up. That way people can get two first.
Sure. Let's do that. Well, That's the act break of the episode. And then when we come back, oh boy. Okay. Like I said earlier, in these later seasons, of course, this television show got pretty dang silly, as evidenced by what I think is... I guess the second silliest moment. I love it. It's just so silly. It's
so silly. I love it.
It's silly. We have to play this moment.
Okay.
You don't believe that Grammy's here, that she talks to me.
Of course I do, sweetheart. Blanche, this is your Grammy. Yo, get yourself out of here, you dumb peck of wood. Oh, I heard it that time, too. Fates don't fail me now.
And you know what's so funny? I say that so often. And I think it might be from this episode. Feats don't fail me now. Whenever I want to be dramatic about something.
I love Rose Nyland so much. She's the type of person who would believe that like puppets and ventriloquist dummies are 100% real and like they're alive and sentient, because if she thinks that was a ghost, and if she thought Rose, thanks for the lovely prayer, was God, like she's beyond gullible, and I love her for that. Feats don't fail me now.
I'm obsessed. I love it. And feats don't fail me now. It's a fun thing to say randomly when you're out with friends and stuff.
Feats don't fail me now.
Let's get out of here. Feats don't fail me now. I don't know. It must
Google
be.
it. And then
I'm going to Google it.
And I feel like last time we watched this episode a gajillion years ago, we talked about whether or not Peckerwood was Southern slang. Because Peckerwood sounds like something I would have said in the 90s at like age 13 when I was playing GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. Like, oh, you're going to be Oddjob because he's a harder target to hit. You're such a Peckerwood. But
I don't know. I don't know the Peckerwood. Okay, feet don't fail me now is an old expression that's usually said when someone is running away from peril. They don't want to slow down. Obviously, I know what that is, but where is it from? Original meaning. It comes from. Okay, hold on. Turns out it originated as early as the 1920s. A black actor named Stepin Fetchit would say it when he was running from cops in movies. I'm assuming the silent movies. And it had racist connotations, which would be in line with the plantation storyline of this episode. Yeah, that's what it means. There you go.
Well, remember too, Stepin Fetchit was it's a Rose Nyland joke. I think from Whose Face Is This Anyway?
Oh, it is.
Where she's like, and then they formed the duo Stepin Fetchit. Anyway, it is a Golden Girls thing. Peckerwood, I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of stuff here, but I guess it has these days been adopted by white supremacists. So cool.
Wow, everything in this episode is problematic.
There's a lot going on in this episode, I guess. Okay, we might as well just get to the silliest part of this episode, where the show really dips its toes into the pond of physical comedy.
Literally, let's play it. Let's play that clip.
Let's play that clip.
And you can look at these magnificent magnolias and stroll that beautiful hillside and... Ma, what the hell are you doing on the roof?
Living for the day, pussycat. I never jumped into a haystack before.
Ma!
Geronimo!
I want to be on set when they're crafting the dummy that they threw off the top of the set. Like, I want someone to own that dummy. We need to call Marsha.
We need to find out. Well, season 7, she's gone by now.
Yeah, true.
But okay, what do you think looks sillier? The stiff Sophia dummy being launched out the window, or Rose's 20-year-old body double during the dance competition?
Oh, that's hard. What looks sillier?
Yeah.
I would say the dummy, only because Rose's body double is just camp. It's just pure camp for me. It's a funny gag that I find. I mean, same with Sophia's body double or dummy, but like, I don't know, the body double is just funnier to me, and I've always wanted to do that joke in like a bit or something. So yeah, I would say her dummy is dumber.
Also the body positioning of the dummy is so interesting, because it's
because you wouldn't jump head
arms
first.
and legs are like fully extended, like it's seated, and trying to touch its toes, right?
Oh, see, and then I saw it as diving.
Did I see it differently than you? Did we see two different things? I saw it as like its arms were outstretched and its feet were kind of outstretched to the front too. Was that not what it looked like?
I don't think we got a good shot of its position, but I just view it as diving. Like I don't know why. I have no reason to view it as diving. It's just how I see it. Like in the little bit of what we see of the dummy.
Like head first?
I don't even remember seeing the head.
Wow. This is
But I
so
remember-
weird.
But I remember it being so clearly a dummy because it's like not,
It's
like,
incredibly
not
stiff.
and you don't really see much of it. So, it's like you're not gonna get like a good shot of its position, I don't think. Maybe we could freeze frame it. I'll freeze frame it. Let's freeze frame it now and put it on the screen. And in the future us we'll find out which one was right.
Okay, well, look at that. We could also just Google a picture of it right now.
Yeah, true. Let's do this
Sophia dummy Golden Girls. This is what it's like on the Rusty Anchor Happy Hour. Oh no, it's just showing me a bunch of dolls.
Yeah, you're not going to get that. We're going to have to trust future us. Let's just trust future us.
Okay,
that I'm
let's
probably
trust
right.
future us. And then finally, yeah, wow, there's nothing here. So finally, Dorothy has had it with Blanche and she's like, all right, I'm leaving. And then she says to Blanche, I love this joke. She goes, how long do you think you can stay handcuffed? And Blanche is like, my personal best is 32 hours. Of course,
So
then I
good.
had somebody to play with.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I have breaking news.
Okay.
From current me. So she's not diving. Her face, you're right. She is in a seated position. I just did a freeze frame. Let me just take a picture of it. And yeah, you're right. Her head is, or at least the wig on the dummy is on top of the frame. Wow. Maybe I
Hey.
should put it in slow motion. I'm going to put it in slow motion and we'll put that clip in here, right here.
And then Sophia and Blanche have a really sweet moment where Sophia goes to her and she's like, she's going to stay. And Sophia's like, I want to be here when the bomb goes off. I want to ride the rocket with you. And it's really sweet. Because Sophia hasn't really been able to talk about her experience with Sal to Dorothy because Dorothy's been so closed off to it. She finally gets to tell, Blanche sort of the rest of her heaven moment. She's like, picture at heaven 2 days ago. And we see her little moment with Sal, where he talks about little Spumoni face, and we learn Dorothy's nickname. And God is basically just like thunder and lightning.
Well, and it's basically setting up everything for what happens when they get back to the house.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And then, okay. So then Dorothy has her moment where she's
monologue.
It's a really sweet monologue where she sees the initials BH on the fireplace. And she's like, oh, Blanche Hollingsworth, oh, I can picture Blanche here running around and laughing. And wow, if I can really picture that and see that and feel like, she's here, why is it so crazy to think that she can't feel her Grammy and blah, 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 and all this stuff. And she says the word ostrich like 100 times. And so she's finally kind of more open to it. And of course, Rose points out that BH stands for blast here.
Yeah.
I love when Blanche's initials just line up perfectly for a joke, like
It's
with
just-
bed, Blanche Elizabeth
it's
Devereaux.
Perfect. It's perfect.
So great.
It's so good. It's so good.
Another fun fact, when the birthday boy, when he shows back up with like two like muscle men and the sheriff has like one line. That guy played Donna's dad on that 70s show.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's cute. I love knowing that. Yeah, I do love that the guy who gets to blow up the house shows up with two muscling men. It just feels very appropriate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they were there to cut the handcuffs off.
Yeah.
And then Blanche comes down holding a wind chime and she's like, Grammy visited me. She told me it was okay to go. And I just think, oh, that's really sweet. And then I really like the final moment between Sophia and Dorothy, where Dorothy admits that she didn't want to hear Sophia's story about Sal because it sounded like she was embracing death. Oh, what's that?
Wait, are they back at the house here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then you're missing one of my favorite moments in all of Golden Girls history.
Oh, please.
When Rose comes into the house singing 99 bottles of beer and she's down to 2 bottles of beer, and then she does something that is so out of character for Rose in that she kind of gets back at Dorothy for being maybe a little ornery throughout the episode, and then just says, yeah, it drives you crazy, doesn't it, when Dorothy is upset that she didn't finish the song at 1 bottle of beer. And I love spiteful Rose. Like, I love a spiteful Rose.
Spiteful Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a really fun moment. Like,
Yeah.
man,
Okay.
like looks like
But
without, on no sleep,
I
I
will
could be as
say,
big a bitch as you. Yeah.
yeah, that. But the end of this episode, when they do have the come around with Dorothy and Sophia, it's really sweet and all. But I will say, the end, it felt like they were struggling to end this episode. It didn't feel like there was an ending.
Interesting. What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it just sort of. I don't know. I felt like it should have been a Blanche episode, and it ended as a Dorothy and Sophia episode, kind of. But they felt like they knew it was a Blanche episode, so they had to do the shot in the bed with her, which was just strange. And it felt like it was kind of all over the place towards the end, a little bit. I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, but it felt a little clustery.
I agree that, I mean, they could have just been trying to do something, but it did sort of feel like Blanche's story had wrapped up, and then after they wrapped up Sophia and Dorothy's story, maybe they just had some extra time and they were like, "Oh, this isn't long enough. We need a little something extra." Because I really did enjoy like that beautiful like piano music that was playing while the wind chime was, blowing, and then I like that.
I mean, I did, but not really.
I liked it. It was a little tag. And at first, like, Blanche likes it. And then she's like, okay, Grammy, some of us are still living. Some of us still need our sleep. And it's.
That part I liked. I liked the tag at the end, for sure. That part I felt. And I felt like we could have had that with. We didn't need the shot of her ending with the bed with the piano music. Like, it could have ended on a joke. And then it immediately goes into this sweet moment where Blanche is in bed and the wind chimes are going, and then she thinks it's cute at first, and then she's like, stop it. Like, I just wanted it to stay funny. That's all.
Yeah. I liked it. I just like seeing Blanche in bed. We never get to see her bedroom at night. And I also noticed she had, and I feel like this is like really common nowadays. I feel like I see in people's houses, but when you have like a giant vase and you have those, like, they're not like pussy willows, but you know what I mean? Like those fuzzy, furry fake plants or something.
Wow.
What are they called?
You're saying a lot of words. You're saying a lot of words here. Pussy, willow, fur, fake. There's a lot of things happening. And I think this is when we need to go to break and come back with a golden takeaway.
Okay.
And we are back with our golden takeaways, which is a nugget of truth or inspiration that you can apply to your life or the lives of our listeners. Kerri, what's your golden takeaway from this episode?
My golden takeaway, I think it just kind of goes back to what we were talking about like connections with people on the other side, which I think is like, even if it's not something that you believe in, if somebody else believes in it and it helps them, I guess it's just kind of like the lesson of Book of Mormon, which is like, if it's helping people, if it's not hurting anybody, then like let those people have those connections. You know what I mean? Let them believe what they believe.
Yeah.
And
it's like Long Island Medium, that lady, Teresa Caputo. Like, I don't necessarily believe that she can actually talk to anybody, but I'm also like, she helps a lot of people, so good for her.
yeah.
Hopefully she's not swindling money out of people and like taking advantage of them. If she's actually helping people, then I'm all for it. Go get it. But I don't believe her.
Yeah. That's mine. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Oh, I love that. My golden takeaway. So this past weekend, before I had all my heart conditions and I thought I think I might die tomorrow, Michael and I were like, let's have a spooky weekend. And so we started watching like The Conjuring and Paranormal Activity and like all these movies because we love ooky spooky. Like, we're a big ooky spooky family. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun if this episode was kind of like The Conjuring, in that like they went back to the house and then like the spirit, like her grandma's spirit was taking over, and then like the girls were being haunted. Like, I would love to see a haunted Golden Girls moment. Like, wouldn't that be fun?
That would be a lot of fun.
So many spin-off ideas in this episode. But yeah, I would love that. I think it would be fun to have like, The Conjuring, the Golden Girls.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
they
right?
never did like
fun.
a Halloween episode. They never did anything like really spooky. I mean, they obviously did a murder mystery, but And that
But
was
that's
like,
not spooky.
well,
It's
it
not
wasn't spooky, but it was terrifying. And when they thought that Kendall Nesbitt was actually murdered and that Blanche was going to be arrested for it.
No, I want haunted. I want someone to be like, "Oh my God, they're here." The call's coming from inside the house. Like,
Yeah.
well, I guess that's more murdery, but still, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, somebody write that fan fiction. Stat.
Yeah. And send it to me, please.
Yeah.
Please send it to me.
Guys, this has been another episode of Out on the Lanai. We've had so much fun this week, and we will catch you back here next week for more Golden Girls greatness.
And you can follow us on the socials. You can. We're a part of Mom Moguls and Media, so go support the mommy pluses we love. Actually, Race Chaser right now is doing something fantastic in that they are covering Alaska's All-Star season of Drag Race.
Oh, that's exciting.
And so they're breaking it down episode by episode, just like we do. And so I would encourage people to go listen to Race Chaser. Not like you probably don't already, because, a lot of people do. But you can follow us on social media at Golden Girls Pod on Twitter, Out on the Lanai Official on Instagram, Golden Girls Pod on the Facebooks, and I am HAlanScott / Sadie Pines on everything.
And I am Squidsy on Instagram and Squid Eat Squid on Twitter. And remember, you can also catch us over on YouTube. We're Out on the Lanai, and on patreon.com/Golden Girls Podcast, where you can sign up for a free account, but you get most of the perks at the $5 and $8 a month tier.
It's true. You should go check it out. Lots of fun things happening over there. And remember,
as always,
stay golden. Yes.
I like that you put on a lip right as we're ending.
Hey, we're starting at Rusty Anchor. Go subscribe.
Out on the Lanai is not endorsed by Whit Thomas Harris Productions, Touchstone Television, Disney, or any of its subsidiaries. It is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only.
All names, pictures, audio, and video clips of the Golden Girls are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of their respective trademark and/or copyright holders.